Today we're talking with a good friend of mine who I've known for years, Katie Day. Katie Day runs the Move Me to Texas team here at Real Broker and is the co-founder of the Real Estate Video Blueprint, which is an annual conference entirely focused on using video and social media in our real estate businesses. And Katie is somebody that I would say is an expert when it comes to video and social media in your business. And today on this call, she actually completely blew my mind and changed my perspective forever around Instagram for real estate agents. I actually learned a lot on this call. Katie is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to video, social media, and just business in general. So let's go ahead and hop in. All right, Katie, can you tell me a little bit about how you got into real estate and what does your business look like today?
For sure. So I got into real estate full time in 2017. I was previously in property management. And so I did that for, many years and got into real estate full time 2017. And it was an interesting start. Basically, my husband joined me later that year. We started a team in 2018, and fast forward to now, in 2024, we've got a team of 8 agents plus the two of us, so 10 total agents. We have 2 transaction coordinators and then 2 VAs.
Oh wow, okay. And what's your production look like for your whole team?
Yeah, so normally we sell anywhere between 175 to 200-ish homes a year.
Holy cow, that's a lot. Yeah.
We stay
And
busy.
yeah, definitely sounds like it. And do you have other businesses besides this? Like I know you're involved with the real estate video blueprint. Is that your business? Is that you and Tim that have that?
Yeah, so Tim and I do the real estate video blueprint event every year. Outside of that, it's really just real estate, and then my husband and I own some investment properties and things like that, but mainly just real estate and, all of that.
Right, all that fun stuff, managing the team and everything. Okay. And what do you think your biggest source of business is for your team right now?
So when we break it down, it comes down to we have kind of 3 major pillars or 3 major categories. And so first is agent to agent referrals. So receiving referrals from other agents across the country. Second is our past clients in Sphere and people that we know, in Houston and across the country, sending us referrals. So non-licensed people. And then finally, it is social media. And I know obviously like I generally don't call YouTube social media, but like YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and things like that.
Oh wow, okay. So what I love about that is I feel like your SOI and your agent referrals, like does your social media strategy like contribute to that source of leads as well?
For sure, for sure. And that's I think that Instagram and Facebook are more of kind of like the staying top of mind and brand play. YouTube, in my opinion, you get more people that you don't already know. So, I think all 3 platforms really help for both people that we already know and then new as well.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I tell people that I often tell people like YouTube is great for like lead generation. It's also great for just lead conversion and say in front of your SOI and your database as well. So even if you don't generate any brand new leads, there's still a lot of value in just content creation. And like you're kind of demonstrating that right there. Okay. And tell me about your Instagram strategy. Like I think like I look up to your Instagram page. I love your Instagram content and like I'm fairly new to Instagram. I just passed 1,000 followers and that's something I'm really focused on. What is your overall Instagram strategy?
So funny enough, when I like emailed you to be like, hey, what's the link for today's call? I laughed because after I sent you that email, I hopped on Instagram just to check my DMs, and you'd actually DM'd it to me on Instagram, which was wild to me because you're definitely not known as an Instagram guy. So I love that you've been posting, and I love to see you on Instagram now. It's great because I know like 3 years ago when we first met in
Yeah.
person, you like did not use it at all. You're like, you can tag me, but I'm not gonna, look at it or repost it or do anything with it. So kudos to you on that. As far as my strategy goes on Instagram, I have kind of buckets of content or things that I focus in on. And so, I found that a lot of people, and I'm sure you see this as well, that are moving to the area, they want to know things about kind of what's happening, right? So restaurants, bars, developments, like what's happening in the area and how may that impact me if I live in a certain neighborhood or something like that. And so we try to post, just information about kind of the, Houston area as a whole, as far as development and restaurants and stuff like that. Real estate tips as well, so if you were buying or selling or investing here in Houston, what would that look like? And then the other stuff is more personal brand and fun stuff. And so, for me, that's sneakers, that's my daughter, that's my dog, that's, my husband, family stuff kind of thing. And then, just more personal brand stuff. And so I, sometimes will speak and things like that at events. And so that will also be included as well.
Okay. One thing that I love that you're doing is you're doing these like daily vlogs and and you're narrating like what you did that day. Can you tell us a little bit about like what your thought process is that or what your strategy is with creating these sort of daily vlogs that you do?
Yeah, so one of them's like that crush one, I think, is might have been a vlog down on the bottom left-hand corner. Um, so, I
Cheers
think
to
it's
good
just a fun
food.
way to kind of share the day and share experiences. And so oftentimes my videographer will travel with me and he'll, shoot a very high production quality, amazing video. And that's great. But this, I just kind of shot on my phone, toss my phone down on the ground or on a shelf or something like that during, workouts and things like that. And so it's just a way to kind of share things that I'm doing, give a look into, especially if I'm here in Houston, like what does a typical day look like for a real estate agent, and as you know, they're never the same. And so I think a lot of times, especially in today's world and in today's market, people think that real estate agents don't do a ton. So, I want to try to provide insight into like all the things that we do to promote our listings and to work with buyers and different stuff like that.
Yeah, I love that. And you shooting it all on your phone? Is it usually just a daily vlog? And are you editing that on CapCut?
Yeah, so I use either CapCut or VN. Both are very similar. So I'll just use that and kind of splice all the clips together, add in some, fun transitions, and then I'll just do a voiceover with a mic, just so it sounds a little bit better. But if I don't have a mic, I'll just go into like, a closet or a small room, and you do it in there. So
Nice. That is definitely like one video that like I want to add to like my repertoire or my content strategy with my own Instagram. And what about these ones here where you're sitting down on a couch or something and you're just kind of providing like educational content? Can you talk a little bit about what the process is for these? And are these like in listings that you have or new construction that you're kind of finding these sets to film in?
yeah, so as far as the sets go, we either do them in model homes or we there's a company here called Pure Space. They are nationwide. They're just not in every city, and so you can rent studio spaces. And
Mm,
so you can also rent like Airbnbs on there for just a few hours and stuff like that. But
cool.
basically, probably at least once a month, sometimes two times a month, I'll sit down with my videographer and I will batch shoot content. And so I'll come up with 20 or 30 ideas of things to talk about. And so these are collabed with the real estate video blueprint page. So those are more agent focused on tips for content creation and personal branding and video and stuff like that. But I also do tips on buying and selling in Houston, as well as like I've done some that are more just, hey, this is a new development that's coming and how this is how it's going to impact this neighborhood kind of stuff as well.
Right. And how often do you post videos? Are you posting one, you think, like pretty much every day? Like some
I
sort of reel?
try to post every day. It doesn't necessarily always happen. But I always at least have some a story up on my story. But yeah, I try to post maybe not necessarily a video, but a post almost every day.
Well, okay. So 30 pieces of content at least a month from that. Okay. And what like I'm coming from a world of YouTube to
Yeah.
Instagram and like YouTube, we always have call to actions. But I see like you don't always have a call to action in your videos. But I guess what is like the best call to actions when you're creating content on Instagram, or do you think just not having any is the best option most of the time?
Yeah, I think there's an argument to be made for both sides, and obviously I know like YouTube's changed over the years. It used to just be like in the very beginning you'd be asking people to subscribe and things like that. Now it's like you have to wait till the end and you've earned their attention kind of thing. So I think for me, my call to action is normally like something that may create conversation, and so if it's something about a new development, it's like, have you been here yet? Or what do you think of this? Or what's the first restaurant you want to try here? Or something like that, to where it's creating conversation versus me saying like, it would be weird for me to say, here's a post about a new restaurant here in Houston. And at the bottom of the post, it's like, if you want to buy or sell real estate, call me today. Right. Like those
Right.
don't necessarily align. So, there will be posts that I will have that will have a direct call to action like that. Right. Like, so if I'm making a post on how to prepare your property for the market, right, then maybe at the end I would say, and if you've got questions on how to prepare your property specifically, give me a call today so we can set up a consultation, right? But like if I did that in every single video, I think, in my opinion, people kind of feel as if they're getting sold all the time anyways, and so I'd rather be that resource for them that then since I haven't continued to ask them for business every single time they see a post, they're like, when we want to buy or sell or whatever, we're going to call Katie and her team.
Right. Yeah, good. I like that strategy. And you're right. Like I just in the last year, I finally started getting Instagram and started clicking and like, oh, okay, now I get it. Now there's a lot of value with this.
Well, I think you do a good job. And like when you're saying like potentially like implementing the vlog style stuff, like you're
Yeah.
already kind of doing it, right? Like with your stories and things like that. And that's one thing like I always love. Like when I see Malcolm has a story up, I'm like, this is awesome because Instagram isn't something you've done in the past. So I do love to see it.
Yeah, like stories are so easy. I got that.
Yeah.
I got that checked. That I can do a story every day. And then me personally, I do a lot of interviews, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
get to the point where I have 15 interview clips a month. So every other day doing
Yeah.
some sort of interview clip, and then I need to find some other content to kind of fill up those other 15 days.
But I mean, you thinking about it like as we just unpack your content here, you also could do something to the effect of like you're already doing these stories, so it's like when you're taking your walk, maybe that's the start of your vlog, right? And you're just like, hey, so this is what happened today. It was a crazy day, blah 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 blah, and like you're already posting most of that content on your stories,
Mhm.
So I think it definitely could be something that you could implement pretty easily. I feel like.
I mean, I think you're right. I think you're right. Like if I film a video to go into my vlog, then I can also upload that one clip as a story
Yeah.
as well. I do like that idea.
Because for me,
Um,
it's basically what I do is like if I decide like, oh, today's a busy day and would be like a good day to vlog, I just start from the beginning of my day when I wake up. And I know you do yoga and work out and do different things. So it's like you could just toss your phone on the side and do a little hyperlapse while you're doing yoga or while you're working out, or like get a video of you, selfie style taking a walk, with Aiden, like, and just different stuff like that. And it's like maybe you decide that the content you shot that day was trash and you're not going to use it, but like then that's story content too. So it's definitely multi-purpose. And I think too many people are like, oh, I like overthink it and try to have like a storyboarded day. Like just shoot some content throughout the day and then you can kind of splice it together that evening.
yeah, no, I love that idea. All right, I'm doing it. I'm
Take
gonna
an
do it.
action. I love it.
Do it. I just edit on CapCut. You can record the audio right there. I got a fancy mic I can hook up to it. Um,
You have all the tools, man.
yeah, because I've been doing these clips on my thing, but I feel like now there's so many clips, it's too professional, right? I need more personal content
Yeah.
in there other than the stories. And so yeah, I'm still trying to figure out my own thing. I think doing the for me doing kind of a green screen reaction to some kind of article or
Yeah.
story. I love that. You know what I love about working out real like with you is that Sharon has a huge personal brand and he's playing the exact same game that you and I are playing. And like you can like see what he's doing, be like, oh, I'm gonna implement that in my own business as well. And so he does the same thing, right? He's building a
Yeah.
personal brand, playing the same game. All right, so you covered your Instagram strategy. What's your YouTube strategy look like? What are you doing on
Oh
YouTube?
man, this is now when you're going to coach me.
Oh yeah.
So I got into YouTube, I guess probably in like 2019, 2020, and
Hmm.
I have, you and Christina and a lot of people in the YouTube group to thank for that. Just in kind of being able to have people to model after.
Hmm.
Um, as far as yeah, so like 3 years ago are all of my really well performing videos. So yeah, I mean, I if I could start my channel over today, I would definitely do it differently than I did it. But like for what we did, it has worked for us, right?
Hmm.
So I mean, we do like the talking head style videos, but then we have a mix of other things as well. And as I know, like most people would say, you just need to do one style and that's it, kind of thing. So Yeah, I mean, but we do still get a decent amount of leads from YouTube, decent amount of inquiries every month from it. And again, like most of the well performing ones are like ones that I shot on my phone. Like the real pros and cons, like is not a well shot video up on the top left hand corner with a 200, like not great. But that one has probably brought us the most amount of leads. So
Isn't that
gotta love
funny?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta love, and it proves that it's the content that matters the most. The actual content in there, not the production quality. And you really got to start with having that good content. And yeah, that's amazing. 3 years ago, you're still generating leads from a quick 5-minute video you shot on your phone.
Yeah.
This kind of shows the power of it. So if you don't count, I guess, your sphere of influence leads and your agent to agent referrals, which platform do you think you get more leads from, YouTube or Instagram?
So I would say Instagram probably more, both direct buyers and then agents reaching out.
Mhm.
I know you said not to count agent referrals, but I'm going to. So I think the most like direct inquiries from Instagram. But what's difficult, and I mean I know you know this, is like for YouTube, they can't DM you on a video and say, hey, I'm looking to buy a home, and it
Right.
be a private message, right? They have to find you elsewhere. And so often I find that people may DM on Instagram, but actually, they initially found you on YouTube, and so um I would still say Instagram first, then YouTube as far as platforms go for me today.
That's actually a really interesting point. I never really thought about that. But I was asking, like, well, what kind of call to action do you have on Instagram? You don't really need one on Instagram, do you? Like, everybody knows you can just directly message somebody right there on Instagram. Which, you're right, that's something you can't do on YouTube. That's kind of interesting. All right, and so that's your YouTube, and you covered Instagram. What other platforms are you pretty active on, or like kind of prioritizing? You do anything on TikTok? Anything with LinkedIn? I've not been able to figure out LinkedIn yet.
So the only thing that we really do is on TikTok, it's more agent facing, and then on LinkedIn, it's obviously more consumer facing for me. And so I have a VA that will take posts that I post on Instagram and repurpose them on other platforms. I've heard that LinkedIn is very good with blogs and this and that and other things, but I wouldn't say that I have a great strategy for either TikTok or LinkedIn that I could confidently coach to someone else. It's just something that we're kind of putting the content there for it to be there. But Instagram and YouTube are definitely the main focus for us.
Okay, good. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes that's the best strategy. Go all in on one or two platforms because there's so many of them. It's hard to follow best practices for all of them. Like, that is a full-time job right
Yeah.
there. And so you said you have a VA. So do they? Yeah, let's talk about like your team, I guess, around your content. Do you use any programs like Loomly to schedule out posts, or do you have a VA that you use to schedule out posts for you?
Yeah, so she'll use Loomly to schedule like Google Business posts and TikTok posts and things like that. But basically, I post natively on Instagram for everything that I do. I don't do well of like coming up with captions and then I it's more so on the fly for me kind of thing. And so I post everything natively on Instagram, and then that's kind of the trigger to then repost it on our Facebook business page and on YouTube and on TikTok and on different sites. And so she does use schedulers for some of that, and then does it, live time, couple hour delay on others.
Okay. And you have a videographer. Do you have is your videographer also your editor? And does he do your YouTube and your Instagram content?
So I've got two people that I work with, but both of them both shoot and edit all of the content. And so it's been a lot of fun to be able to, kind of both progress over time, with each other. So, yeah, I have one long form and then one short form guy.
Oh, cool. Okay, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I realize, like, the amount of content that I want to create. Like, I have to
Yeah.
have two editors in order to kind of keep up with my vision for how much content I want to create.
Yeah.
So you and I are obviously like really focused on like building our own personal brands in this industry. We have a lot of friends who really have big personal brands. How important do you think it is for real estate agents to create a personal brand today? And like, what kind of advice do you have for them for doing that?
I think especially in light of the, NAR settlement and all the lawsuits and things like that, I think it's now more important than ever to have a personal brand. Whether that's your name, whether that's a catchphrase, whatever it may be, just something that is recognizable to you, I think is very important. I think that it's important to have some sort of recognition, in your local community so that people know who you are and know that you're, a real estate agent and can be a resource for them.
Right. Yeah, that's great. And I guess I could just go and watch your daily vlogs, but what's your daily routine look like? An average work day for you?
Yeah. So, I mean, not every day is the same, but there's some common themes for sure. And so, normally, most mornings I get up and I work out. And so I'll do that in the morning, come home, and I'll eat breakfast. We have a daily huddle with the team almost every morning of the week, and so that's at 8:30. So I normally try to clear my inbox as much as possible before that,
Mhm.
and then be in the office for the daily huddle at 8:30. And then, depending on the day of the week, the day will kind of go differently from there. And so, common themes throughout the week are either, we have team meetings, we have team role play and different things like that throughout the week. I'll have calls, with agents that, are looking to join the brokerage. I have coaching calls with my team and my agents on my team. And then, clients. So, uh, I'm still in production, so helping buyers and sellers and things like that. And so there's a block in my day normally for going over files and making sure everyone knows what's happening in their transactions, what's happening next, and then yeah, that's those are normally the common themes, but it's just depends on the day how much of each is in the day.
Right. So you said you do coaching calls with your agents. Can you talk about that? Like, what does that look like for you? I'm guessing that's one-on-one coaching calls. Do you like track like, hey, these are your goals for the week, and here's the numbers you said you're going to commit to. Here's the numbers you actually hit. Is it something structured like that?
Yeah, so we use Follow Up Boss and we use Sisu. So Follow Up Boss is our CRM, and then we use Sisu for transaction management and then kind of agent accountability and things like that. And so they will set goals for the normally month, but sometimes for the week of like calls, conversations, and appointments. And so we'll kind of go over that. We'll go over things that have gone well, and challenges over the past 30 days, what their goals are for the next 30 days, and then everyone set goals for the year, and things that they wanted to accomplish and the lead pillars. So we'll normally go over each lead pillar and like what are things that we could do better? How can we improve? Like, did we even do this month kind of thing? And just it's more so like kind of trying to keep everyone on track and accountable to the goals that they've set, and just make sure they're doing the things that they need to do to achieve them.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. I feel like more team leaders need to do that. Like actually provide like one-on-one coaching like that to their agents. And so you obviously like have a lot on your plate. And I feel like you're the type of person that you wake up and you're hustling the entire day until you go to bed at night. And like that's something I'm really focused on as well. Just increase my productivity, increase my
Yeah.
output of content, number of calls I have. What advice do you have for somebody that's trying to just level up their productivity and their efficiency and just put out, more content and more appointments and all that for them?
I think there's two things that it comes down to, and one is time blocking, which I know is like the oldest answer, and the most overused answer in this case. But I think it is really important to have kind of either themes for your day or portions of your day or your week or whatever that may look like. Because as real estate agents, we wear lots of hats, and
Mhm.
being at Real, we both talk to a lot of agents that are looking to come over to Real. So that's also another hat that like, neither of us had 3 years ago. And so I think that it's difficult sometimes because you're being pulled in a lot of different directions. So I know you use Calendly, but like if it's something where it's like people are setting up appointments with you, like you can have blocks to where, agent calls are only in the afternoons and your team calls are only in the mornings, or your client calls are in the, evenings, or however you set your day up, right? Having some sort of like rules or schedules around that just to keep a little bit of a routine in your day is helpful. And then the other thing that has been super helpful for me, which I know isn't everyone's cup of tea is just waking up earlier, you know? And so do I like working out at 5 a.m.? Like not necessarily, but I like being able to be home by 6:30, you know, eating breakfast and having a few hours of time in which I can clear my inbox and send out and reply to all of my emails without getting a barrage of emails back. And so that's something that's been helpful for me. And so, you know, I have an agent on my team that she would rather do that at, you know, 9, 10, 11 p.m. I need to be in bed by then. I'm completely useless like after 8 p.m. So for me, it's waking up early and then time blocking.
Yeah, that's really interesting perspective that if you send emails at 6:30 in the morning, you're not going to get replies back. So you're not going to get stuck in some kind of,
Yeah.
rabbit hole with emails back and forth, but you're still responding daily with them. I like that. And yeah, Calendly, that saves me so much time. I
Yeah.
love that. And one thing I realize is that I have so many calls that I'm not creating content anymore. And so I finally started like, all right, 1 day a week, I have no appointments
Yeah.
just so I can create content. And I'm trying to get to that super effective level. In terms of like personal development, do you have any podcasts or books that you like highly recommend to people?
I go through phases of like, you know, super high personal development and I'm like listening and reading all the things. And then I go through some where it's like, I'm just trying to stay afloat. And I feel like right now has been a very busy season. So, um, however, when I'm driving or have downtime and I'm working that doesn't require like tons of thought, I tend to listen to podcasts. And so lately I've been listening to Alex and Layla Hermosi. I
Yeah.
love their outlook. And I know you saw Alex at Rise last year. I love their outlook on business. They're just very pragmatic. Like she gives such good advice. She does a lot of like live Q&As, which are really interesting of people, you know, with business problems coming to her and asking questions. And it's just like she breaks it down so simply. And that's something that I feel like a lot of times we make things very convoluted, right? And it's like it's most problems are pretty simple to solve. You know, I love Sharon's podcast, Business School.
Yeah.
He packs a ton of information into a very short period of time. Again, like no bullshit, just very straight and to the point and simple. And so, you know, I have pages of notes from his stuff. And then outside of that, like Ed Milet is a good one. And that's as of right now, those are high on my list. And then the guys over at BAM, as far as real estate knowledge, you know, the Knowledge Brokers podcast and kind of everything that they're putting out over at BAM has been helpful just for, you know, quick facts and what's happening in the real estate industry.
Yeah, those are all great recommendations. All right. And so we're just at the beginning of 2024. What are you really focused on most this year?
That's a great question. That changes day to day. So today, we're really focused in as far as the team goes on listings and just continuing to improve our listing process and making it, you know, more efficient and you know, trying to take more listings. And so that's the biggest focus right now for us.
Yeah, I love it. Especially with this NAR lawsuit, like listings is definitely what we all need to focus on kind of moving forward. Awesome, Katie. Well, if anybody wanted to reach out to you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, best place would be on Instagram probably. My username is Move Me to Texas, MoveMeToTX.
All right. Thanks so much. So I recently started a weekly email of free training here at Real Broker that's open to all agents at all brokerages. Every single week, I personally hand select what I think are the 5 most interesting live trainings that we have going on that week in the Real Academy, and I send that out to my email list. If you like free training and you'd like to sign up for this weekly email, I have a link down in the description below. And if you'd like to see more interviews just like this on the Next Gen Agents Show, you can check out this playlist right here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.